Hi, my name is Helena, and along with Lev, we'll be talking about combating soil erosion with the use of a computational tool. Soil erosion is the removal of nutrient-rich topsoil from the land. It causes gullies that interfere with normal tillage operations in agriculture, it pollutes local waterways, and rates of soil erosion have increased significantly, primarily due to anthropogenic factors. For agriculture, soil erosion causes both short-term and long-term productivity effects. In the short term, this leads to a loss in crop yields, and in the long term, this can lead to a loss in topsoil, which eventually leads to soil degradation, which is the decline in soil conditions caused by the improper management of land.
Now, before diving into any actual studies about the effects of soil erosion, it is first important to define how soil erosion is actually measured. One of the main ways in which this is achieved is by setting up collection systems which measure the soil content in runoff water. Simply knowing the quantity of runoff, however, isn't enough because these levels need to be put into relative terms compared to historic levels. One way of doing this comparison is by measuring radioactive cesium-117 levels in the soil, because after the radioactive fallout in the 40s and 70s, any movement of radioactive cesium from known levels can be attributed to tillage and deposition. Once both historic and current levels are known, databases such as the Global Assessment of Human-Induced Soil Degradation can be made for soil scientists to extrapolate data from.
One of the main tools that farmers have for mitigating soil erosion is strategic farmland allocation by planting specific crops in varying arrangements. A new computational solution that was proposed by Iranian researchers is the utilization of multi-objective linear programming to optimize land usage. In the Iranian researchers' linear programming model, they tried to optimize the distribution of 4 different types of farm styles, which included orchards, irrigated farms, dry farms, and rangelands. Their hope was to improve the environmental and economic state of a watershed in Iran. Their multi-objective function included 2 priorities: to minimize soil erosion and maximize economic returns for the farmers. They were constrained by many environmental factors such as slope steepness and present land use, as well as local social-economic conditions. To solve the linear programming model, the researchers used the simplex method within ad-based optimization software. They also performed a sensitivity analysis to determine how sensitive the optimal solution was to changes in the input data. Results showed that soil erosion could be decreased by 7.9% from the present value, and the economic benefit could increase by 18.6% in the case of the optimal solution. One improvement that could be made with this study is to utilize improved data with consideration to create a more accurate model. Specifically, another group of researchers in Iran had access to Google Earth imagery, which supplied better topographic maps and more accurate representations of current land allocation. The researchers employed the simplex method within Lingo software and discovered that erosion rates could be reduced by 61%, while profitability could be increased by 24%. It's important to note that in this new study, the watershed was different from the original study. The future development of combating soil erosion is very promising, with many improved methodologies in the future, such as mixed integer programming that can be helpful to formulate a watershed problem, particularly when many dynamic decision variables are involved. Often researchers cannot account for sudden human relocations due to things like nomadic lifestyle and cultural and personal preferences, and etc. One important thing to remember is that the optimal solution is much more complex than just an answer to a mathematical model. I hope you learned a lot about combating soil erosion with the use of linear programming. Thanks for watching.